This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and joining me today on the show, it is Michele Ladd. Michele travels the U.S. in her RV to different cities helping veterans. She makes sure that they have access to resources they need, such as help with PTSD, suicide prevention, mental health, and so much more. Wow, what a great thing. Michele, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on this beautiful day.
Yes, and as we look at gaze out over a new decade now, 2020, it's amazing what you've done over several years now with this. And what can you tell us a little bit about what's in store for the 2020?
Well, I'm leading on my next trip. I travel. I consider myself a full-timer, even though I do have a place to stop. And what I'm doing is I'm traveling the country. I am meeting with active duty military veterans and our first responders. I am a mom of two veterans, and so I bought a brand new Class A 2 months ago, and I wrapped it in the American flag, and I have portraits of veterans and wounded warriors and the logos to all of the military branches and first responders. And I am very deeply passionate about post-traumatic stress disorder and suicide prevention. So in 2020, I am leaving in next week, and I'm heading to go visit a wounded veteran who's a quadriplegic, and I'm going to be interviewing him and sharing resources. I am going to be presenting a program called PTSD. It's a workbook, and it's called Stress is Gone. And I've been trained on these specific methods. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm a mom that has a heart for our active duty, our veterans, and our first responders. And recently, over the last 6 months, I've met 12 mothers who have lost their children to suicide. And it's gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
So I bought an RV a few years ago. I was watching Carolyn's RV. I thought she was crazy. And then I was watching Nomadic Fanatic. I've never been a camper. I never drove one of these things. I'm on my third one now. And I'm interviewing veterans. I'm sharing their stories. Many of them talk about multiple suicide attempts and drug and alcohol related addictions.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking to police departments and fire departments around the country. I'm looking for resources all over the country. I just did a 45-day tour all throughout Florida, as a matter of fact. I'm going to be meeting with 3 wounded veterans in the next couple of weeks that are going to be doing videos and sharing their stories. In this, the end of February, I have a friend who's featured, his photos featured on the RV as one of my wounded veterans. Tom McRae is a triple amputee, and he's also lost his right eye, and he's losing vision in his left eye. And I won a trip for Tom. It was an all-expenses paid trip for Tom to go to Texas for a thermal hog hunt. I called Tom, and I said, I know you love to hunt. Can you do this? And I made a video in the contest, and so the organization is called 180 Outdoors, and they said that if Tom wins, it's an all-expense trip. He lives in North Carolina. And then in my video, I said, I'm so crazy, I said, if Tom wins this contest, I'm actually going to pick him up in this crazy hero mobile, and I'm going to travel with him all the way to Texas and bring him back. And he won. So Tom and I are leaving at the end of February. It's going to be an epic tour. We had to figure out how to get him in the RV, and I'm going to be towing a 10-foot trailer with all of his wheelchairs in it. And I've never towed anything before. So we'll be driving 8 hours a day. We're going to be stopping, getting him a handicapped, accessible hotel room several nights. The trip in Texas is 6 days, and then 3 days back. So we're going to be on the road for 12 days in my RV. when I return from him, I'm just on scheduled tours throughout the entire year. A lot of times I wing it because I'll get asked to come and interview a veteran here, or there's a resource out there that wants to get in front of the RV is a traveling tribute with portraits to our heroes of America. And so many organizations want this vehicle at their location, and so I travel like a rock star. I'm traveling solo, and so I stay at a lot of, I'll stop at a Walmart parking lot or a truck stop, but recently I've been staying at a lot of American Legion and VFW parking lots, and I've just been invited to come to the Eagles facilities around the country so that I have a little bit of a safer place to stay. But my whole travel is about just trying to help those that protect and serve us.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. And you talked about being a mom with a heart as opposed to a therapist. And we certainly know all the good work that professionals do in the industry, but therapists and such. But of course, when and you yourself you said 2 children in the military. It really does take sort of a mom or a dad or someone who is close to a situation where you can really relate to having someone on active duty, understanding what they go through on a daily basis, to have a different perspective than maybe even a professional might have in helping people that are struggling with depression or whatever it might be. If you can, share a little bit about that perspective.
So both my sons have served. They're both out. One of them is a combat veteran who has some issues. He then, when he got out, became a firefighter. And 10 years ago, I started a program in Rochester. I'm a real estate broker and agent, and I have been for more than 20 years. So I started a rebate discount program for heroes when they bought and sold houses. And my agents and I gave over, something like $350,000 back to them when they bought and sold houses. And then my program went nationwide. So I'm the CEO to Heroes Home Advantage, and my whole mission in life has been to save them as much money as possible when they buy and sell homes around the country, to thank them for their services. But during my 10 years of running the program in Rochester, working with hundreds of police officers, firefighters, EMTs, 911 dispatchers, active duty, military veterans, they shared their stories with me, and every story just went deeper and deeper into my heart. I went on ride-alongs with 15 police officers over the years and went on the fire trucks and got in the ambulances. I joined every military organization. So I am a mom with a heart that has 2 kids that have served. Both of their photos are on both sides of my RV. I proudly display them, that have sacrificed so much to protect and serve us has made me, and them sharing their stories. Our police officers and firefighters and EMTs, they don't want to talk about what they suffer with because they're still working. So they get in the RV, they cry. The moms that have lost their sons and daughters and the fathers get in this RV, and it's so intimate. I'm a stranger to them. They can just open up and share their stories, and they look around the RV and they can't believe that I'm driving this thing and I'm emptying all the tanks and I'm living in, and I'm living in parking lots. But I tell them it's nothing to me. It is. It's very challenging. I'm not going to say that. I've had all kinds of issues driving and living in it, but when they tell me their stories, I tell them that I'm not sacrificing a thing. It is the least I could do for them.
Yeah. Amazing. We want to learn a little more about everything else you're doing. We're going to take a short break. We're speaking with Michele Ladd, and she is traveling the U.S. in her RV and helping veterans across the country. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to the RV Advisor Podcast.
The most experienced RV traveler knows it's important to expect the unexpected. Trust the RV Advisor Roadside Assistance Plan, starting at just $99 per year. It's the industry's most affordable plan and offers the most value compared to competitors, covering RVs, towed vehicles, personal vehicles, horse trailers, bike trailers, and more. Visit the RVadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911. The RV Advisor Roadside Assistance Plan. Don't hit the road without it. Back on the RV Advisor podcast. My name's Tom Alexander, and I'm speaking with Michele Ladd. She travels the United States in her RV to bring help to veterans across this country, making sure they have access to all kinds of help with PTSD, suicide prevention, mental health. You say you have a mission to save 22 lives per day. Wow, that's ambitious. That's incredible. Why that number, and what is it about that drive, that mission?
The statistics tell us that 22 veterans die by suicide a day. Most of us know that's quite a bit higher. It's our active duty and our veterans. That's not including our police officers and our firefighters and our EMTs, even our 911 dispatchers that are dying by suicide every day. So I chose Operation 22-0, meaning that I'm trying to help with 22 suicides a day. If I can help save one life, I feel like everything that I do is worth it. And I think these heroes sharing their stories and of inspiration and how they get through dealing with their PTSD. And I just started another movement called God is Bigger. And so any resource that I can find to help our men and women is, I think, I can't save their lives, but I can help change their lives. And that's what I'm all about. So I started a YouTube channel. It's called RV Hero Gypsy. I only have 145 subscribers because the RV community doesn't really recognize me as a full-timer or anything, but I have this to store all of the videos that I do with our heroes and with these resources. I have shared a little bit about some of the disasters that I've had being a full-timer, being out on the road. I've traveled over 50,000 miles in 2.5 years. Yeah. We can all come together to make a difference in the mental health and the addictions and the suicide prevention if we all just shared each other's post about this specific topic.
Yeah, I'm thinking from obviously this is a podcast, so it's like radio. It's a listening medium, but I'm visualizing here. I'm visualizing this amazing woman coming in this huge, or just arriving in a huge vehicle. It's almost like a beacon in the night. Here comes this huge RV rolling into your town, to a town near you, or however you want to look at it. And all of a sudden you emerge from this vehicle and you're there to help. And it's got to be special when people see that and know what you're doing. What's the response been?
Not great from the RV community because they don't understand what I'm doing, but the general public actually, I get no privacy. I can't go to a campground. I can't go to a Walmart parking lot. People stop. They take photos. I hope that your audience can see a photo. You can send them to my websites or my social media. It's nationalveteranresources.com. So when you see this thing driving down the highway, I get beeped at. The police escort me. But people love to get the photos. And most importantly, veterans will stand there for 20 minutes and just cry looking at it and thanking me for just doing anything that one individual could do to try to help in any way.
Tell people where they can find you, how they can learn more about what you're doing. What's the best portal for access there?
I have to do all the social media, and if you have a Facebook page, it's National Veteran Resources. My website is nationalveteranresources.com, and my YouTube channel is RV Hero Gypsy, all one word, RV Hero Gypsy. I have done over 100 videos, and some of them are for RVers to share, emptying septic, my black and gray tanks and that kind of thing, and my breakdowns. And I do videos about getting stuck in the mountains, but most of it isn't focused on that. It's focused on our heroes, and those are the best ways to find me and follow me, and people just support me and encourage me, and it keeps me going. It's a challenging life. I'm sure you can all understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Michele, we really do appreciate your time. We certainly appreciate everything you're doing for our veterans. And it's an absolutely wonderful organization and movement that you've created. National Veterans Resources. Our guest has been Michele Ladd. Thank you, Michele.
Thank you so much.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast. My name's Tom Alexander. We thank you for listening. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the RV Advisor Podcast with Tom Alexander. This podcast is produced in association with Studio Alpha and Alexander Productions in Miami. Visit thervadvisor.com for more.